Assalamualaikum. So today we Megah Holding SDN BHD will present to you about our Environmental Impact Assessment EIA. So this is our team, which is myself, Muiz, Azza, Nur Izzati, Nur Shazwani and Khairunisa. Our agenda is introduction, project description, description of existing environments, potential impact and mitigation measures, conclusion and reference. Introduction to Environmental Impact Assessment EIA. EIA is a systematic evaluation of the potential environmental consequences of proposed development projects. The purpose of EIA is to identify and assess potential impacts on the environment, society, and economy, and also propose measures to avoid, minimize, or mitigate adverse effects. It helps ensure that development is carried out responsibly, considering the balance between progress and environmental conservation. EIA was adopted as a standard practice by National Environmental Policy Act 1970. EIA follows a structured process which are scoping, defining the boundaries and focus of the assessment, identifying potential impact to be considered. Second is baseline data collection, which is gathering information about the existing environmental condition. The third one is impact assessment, which is identifying and evaluating potential environmental, social, and economic impacts. Fourth, mitigation planning, which is proposing measures to avoid, minimize, or mitigate adverse effects. The next one is public consultation, which is engaging stakeholders and incorporating their input and concerns. The last one is decision making, which is incorporating EIA findings into the project approval process. EIA also provides several benefits, which are balancing development and conservation. EIA ensures that development projects consider environmental impacts and avoid irreversible damage to ecosystems. Next is promoting sustainability by assessing potential impacts and proposing mitigation measures. EIA contributes to sustainable development goals. The third one is enhanced decision making, which is EIA provides policymakers and stakeholders with valuable information to make informed decisions about projects. So in conclusion, the Environmental Impact Assessment EIA is a critical tool for achieving responsible and sustainable development. It evaluates potential environmental impacts, identifies adverse effects, and proposes measures to mitigate them. EIA helps to strike a balance between development and conservation, promoting sustainability. By integrating EIA into decision-making processes, we ensure that development projects consider environmental concerns alongside economic and social factors. Scope of the study. Firstly, purpose and objective of EIA. Environmental impact assessment aims to evaluating the existing environmental conditions of designated site. The objective of EIA include understanding ecological, hydrological, and social aspects to establish a baseline for assessing future impacts. The next one is initial visit and assessment focus. EIA begins with a reconnaissance visits to the designated site to gather initial information. The assessment primarily focuses on potential impacts resulting from the construction and operation of a project or development. The next one is factor and methodologies used in EIA. EIA considers various factors including air quality, water resources, noise level, biodiversity, land use, and socio-economic aspects. Field surveys and data collection, analysis, and modeling techniques are employed as methodologies to gather and assess information. The last one is evaluation scope and also importance. EIA evaluates short-term, long-term, and cumulative effects of proposed projects on the environment. It provides a comprehensive understanding of potential environmental consequences, aiding in informed decision making and sustainable development practice. So, our objective has a 5 objective. The first one is description of the proposed project and activities involved. We need to provide a clear understanding of the project scope and execution. Second one is identification of influence, community and surroundings. We need to determine areas likely to be impacted by the proposed developments. The third objective is assessment of environmental and social consequences. We need to anticipate, assess and evaluate impacts during construction and operation. Also, we need to consider the sensitive areas and potential risks. The fourth one is the mitigation measures for adverse impacts. We need to identify measures to minimize pollution, disruption, and disturbance. Also, address potential environmental and social concerns. The last one is monitoring requirements for implementation and effectiveness. We need to devise monitoring plan to ensure mitigation measures are implemented. Also, verify the effectiveness of measures in addressing impacts. The next slide is project details. The project title is the construction and completion of Sekolah Kebangsaan Muzaffar Shah, which will include 24 classrooms and related facilities. This project will be located in Melaka Tengah, Melaka, especially at Lot PT 18341 in Bukit Katil District. The proposed site is a 10.9 acre area characterized by uneven and hilly terrain, currently covered with rubber trees and forest vegetation. The site location and proximity. The proposed site for the school is situated near Water City Hotel on the western side of the hotel. This location provides convenient access for students and staff. The next one is earthwork and platform level. Significant earthwork will be required to be prepared the site for construction. The uneven and hilly terrain necessitates leveling to create a suitable platform for the school building. Next is infrastructure development. Infrastructure development is a crucial aspect of the project. It includes the construction of internal roads, provision of power supply, water supply, sewer and stormwater pipe network, and also a waste management system. The next one is construction phase, which is the project will be divided into 3 construction phases based on house design and type. These phases approach allows for efficient planning and execution while ensuring timely completion. So the conclusion is the construction of Sekolah Kebangsaan Muzaffar Shah in Melaka Tengah, Melaka is a significant project aimed at providing quality education facilities. The proposed site, which is uneven and hilly terrain, will require significant earthworks to create a suitable platform for the school. The infrastructure development, including internal roads, power supply, water supply, sewer and stormwater pipe network, and also waste management systems will be implemented. The project will be executed in 3 construction phases based on house design and water type. This is the project layout for Sekolah Kebangsaan Muzaffar Shah at Melaka.
Assalamualaikum and hello. I'm Nasha Zwani and I will be presenting our next topic, which is description of existing environments. Topography for this project, which is at Melaka Tengah, generally have a geography of flat with some slight undulation in specific spots. The district is mostly located on the coastal plain of the Malacca Strait, which is distinguished by low-lying topography around sea level. The topography progressively arises as you approach further inland, resulting in somewhat higher altitudes and moderate slopes. Melaka Tengah, Malaysia is located at around 2.24 degree north latitude and 102.27 degree east longitude. The project site includes fairly flat terrain with elevation ranging from 7.96 meter to around 46.86 meters, with the higher elevation largely on the project site southeast side, as shown in figure above. Soil investigation was carried out to determine the subsurface condition and to get soil parameters for geotechnical design. Laboratory studies on soil samples acquired during field soil research activities were used to assess soil parameters. Based on the findings of the site investigations conducted by Ikram Engineering Service in Berhad, 5 exploratory boreholes have been drilled within the project site. All of the boreholes are positioned within the project sites, with 4 boreholes located at each academic building and one of the project site's canteen based on the drawing above. According to the boreholes log profile, the project site is mostly silty clay and clayey silt. Based on figures shown, the Melaka River runs through the area, splitting Bandaraya Melaka into 2 halves. This river distinguishes the topography by generating a natural stream and altering the urban environment. In addition to the Melaka River, the state is traversed by other smaller rivers, streams, and creeks, including Sungai Kesang, Sungai Keruh, and Sungai Duyung. These bodies of water contribute to the region's surface hydrology by acting as drainage routes and sustaining ecosystems. There are multiple mukims that include different areas of the Melaka River Basin. Bandar Hilir, Tanjung Kling, Batu Berendam, Bukit Baru, and Bertam are among the mukims along the Melaka River Basin. Each mukim may have unique features such as land usage, economic activity, and population density. The planned location has a 10.9 acre lot size and is located above PT 18341, Mukim Bukit Katil, Central Melaka District, Melaka. Rubber plants and other forest species are overrun on this uneven mountainous construction site. To achieve the necessary platform level, significant ground cutting must be done. A road that connects Tehel with Bukit Katil neighborhood is being built just in front of the building site. For drainage suggestion, all water runoff from this development will flow through a connect ditch HRPC measuring 450 mm and 600 mm to a 0.99 acre point. The discharge from the station pond will exit into a 1 meter wide prepared soil ditch on the north side of the project site before heading to the final ditch at the Gapam River.
Alright, so for the water quality, it is important to improve river water quality and protect certain river uses. The Malaysian Department of the Environment (DOE) and the National Water Quality Standard (NWQS) regularly monitor river water using the Water Quality Index, which is WQI. Therefore, based on the DOE website, Class 3 was chosen to describe the Melaka River and the extensive treatment required for this river. As you can see here, there is a table that allocate the Sungai Melaka is stated in the Class 3. Okay, so we will continue to the climate and meteorology. Right, so in this part, we are going to describe the weather for a specific area and time, including temperature, precipitation, relative humidity, wind speed, and direction that provided by Jabatan Meteorologi Malaysia. So, for the temperature, at the Melaka City, May was the warmest month ever recorded, which correlated with the dry season at the time. May's average temperature is 27.3 degrees Celsius. The coldest month of the year is January, with an average temperature of 26.0 degrees Celsius. Alright, so for the rainfall, at the Malacca city, the monthly rainfall at the Malacca station ranges between January and December from 83 mm to 276 mm. Among other months, February typically had the lowest monthly rainfall at 83 mm, indicating the dry season. Typically, November is Malacca's wettest month with an average rainfall of 276 mm. Alright, so for the relative humidity, the annual average for humidity is high, with monthly mean values ranging from 76.91% to 84.60%. November has the highest relative humidity at 84.60%. February, which is 76.91%, has the lowest relative humidity of any month. Therefore, at Malacca City, November has the most days with rain, which is 26.37, and the February has least number of rainy days, which is 30.4 days. For the wind speed, Malacca faces the highest average hourly wind speed of 4.9 miles per hour in January, which is also the windiest month of the year. Malacca experiences the least amount of wind during the year in April, where it blows an average of 3.6 miles per hour. So next, we are going to see the land use. Alright, so the proposed site is located above P318341 Phuket Kagil District, Central Malacca region, Malacca, with an area of 10.9 acres. This development lot is uneven and hilly, covered with rubber trees and other forest vegetation. As you can see here, there are two circles, which is the first one radius between 0 to 2.5 km, and the other one is 0 to 5 km. Alright. Okay, so for the land use within 2.5 km radius of the project site, the nearest land use identification within 2.5 km radius, including residential, educational, recreational, public services, place of worship, and also healthcare. As you can see here, there are places that stated in each of the facilities. As you can see here, educational, we are having a multimedia university, Pantai Hospital, ICRO for healthcare, and also there are so many residential places at this area. Alright, so at this area also we had a place of worship, which is we got Masjid Ubudiyah, Sri Mutumaram Temple for Indians, and also we are having public services for the residential person. Alright. Alright, so for the land use within 5 km radius of the project site, the nearest land use identification within a 5 km radius, including residential, educational, recreational, public services, place of worship, and healthcare. The most nearby facilities are located within a radius of 5 km from the chosen site. So, the list below is the nearby facilities that are located within that area. Alright, so as you can see, there have 5 or 6 educational facilities. Also, we have a place of worship, and also
ecology, flora, and fauna. Ecology plays a crucial role in the environmental impact assessment (EIA) process for the proposed project. The project site encompasses different ecological habitats and biological resources, including terrestrial, aquatic, and wetland ecosystems. While the site itself is not designated as permanent reserves, the project implementation is not expected to harm the water catchment or forest reserve located beyond the project's impact area. However, certain areas of secondary vegetation, rubber plantations, and oil palm plantation within the site will be affected by the project's development. The subsequent sections of the report will provide a detailed analysis of the ecological elements present within the project site. For the flora found surround the project area is oak tree, pine tree, mosses, and liverworts. Fauna that are found surround the project area classified into 5, which are insects, reptile, fish, bird, and mammal. Air and noise quality. The proposed project in Malacca raises concerns about air quality and noise pollution during the construction phase. The activities involved, such as land clearing, transportation, and construction emissions can impact local air quality already affected by surrounding road emissions. Dust generated from various construction operations poses a significant risk with potential adverse effects on air quality and human health. To address this concern, mitigation measures such as dust control, proper handling of materials, and adherence to emission guidelines will be implemented. Noise pollution is also a key issue, and advanced technologies like injection pulse will be used to minimize disturbance to nearby residential areas. Ensuring proper construction practices and replanting trees for a greener environment are vital, along with the development of an environmental management plan. The project falls into the urban residential high-density category, considering noise limits of 60 dBA during the day and 50 dBA at night for noise studies. Socioeconomy. The development of schools has significant socioeconomic impacts on communities. Firstly, it provides improved access to quality education, empowering individuals with knowledge and skills for personal growth and economic advancement. Investing in school development enhances human capital, leading to a more educated workforce that drives economic growth. Secondly, schools promote social equality by providing equal access to education, breaking the cycle of poverty, and fostering social cohesion. School creates a sense of community and help individuals from diverse backgrounds develop essential social skills. Lastly, well-developed schools stimulate the local economy by creating employment opportunities and attracting investment in related industries. This leads to increased economic transactions, revenue generation, and overall community development. Overall, school development plays a crucial role in creating prosperous and inclusive society. Infrastructure and utilities. This section of the report provides an overview and evaluation of the infrastructure and utilities in the project area. It covers elements such as roads, networks, electricity supply, water system, communication service, and sanitation facilities. The assessment examines the current state and functionality of these components to ensure efficient operation and connectivity. It identifies areas of strengths, weaknesses, and potential improvements. The electric supply is managed by Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB), ensuring reliable connectivity for residential, commercial, and institutional areas. The Syarikat Air Melaka Berhad (SAMB) is responsible for water treatment and distribution, ensuring clean and safe water supply. The project area has a robust communication network, including mobile phone system. The road infrastructure is well developed, with easy accessibility through residential roads. Overall, these evaluations serve as a foundation for future development plans to ensure sustainable operation for the project.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Khairunisa. I will explain on the potential impact and the mitigation measure. So, conducting EIA is crucial to evaluate and understand the potential environmental effect of a project throughout its life cycle, including the pre-construction, construction, and post-construction phases. So, there are few potential impact that has been identified from pre-construction phase. The first one is site clearing, including the removal of vegetation and trees, which result in habitat disruption and loss of biodiversity. When vegetation is cleared, these species lost their homes and may struggle to find a new shelter. This can lead to the displacement or migration of species, hence disrupting their natural population dynamics. The mitigation measure is by assess the environmental impact and minimize unnecessary clearing. Evaluate the project site and design to minimize the extent of vegetation removal. Next, by preserving natural features and protect area of high ecological value. Next is demolition of existing structure. The pre-construction phase generates waste materials such as demolition debris and excess soil. Failure to handle waste properly can have adverse environmental impact, including pollutions of soil and water resources. Proper waste management practice should be implemented during the pre-construction phase. These involve responsibly managing construction waste, recycling materials, and minimizing the amount of waste sent to landfill. The last one is site preparation and transportation of materials. These activities generate dust, exhaust emission, and noise. These pollutants can affect air quality and cause disturbance to surrounding communities and wildlife. To mitigate this is by implementing measures like dust suppression technique, using low emission machineries, and adhering to noise regulation can help minimizing this impact. During construction phase, excavation, earthwork, and grading works can disturb the topsoil and increase the risk of soil erosion. This can lead to sediment runoff into nearby water bodies and potentially impacting water quality and aquatic ecosystem. There are few mitigation measures that can be taken, which are install sediment barriers, seal fences or sediment ponds around the excavation area to prevent soil erosion and capture sediment. Next, by implement erosion control measures such as hydroseeding or mulching to stabilize exposed soil. The last one is implement stormwater management practice such as sediment basins or sediment traps to capture and treat runoff before it enters water bodies. These activities can also remove and disrupt habitats, including forests, wetlands, or grasslands, which can disrupt wildlife populations and their natural habitats. So the mitigation measure is by identify and protect important habitats or environmentally sensitive area before and during excavation. Next, by establish buffer zones or exclusions area around habitats to prevent disturbance. The third one is by develop a habitat restoration plan to restore or create new habitats in the project area once excavation is complete. Earthwork and grading involve moving soil, which can result in the generation of dust particles. These particles can become suspended in the air and contribute to air pollution. So to reduce this is by implement dust suppression measures such as water spray, dust screen, or dust suppression agents to minimize airborne dust. Second, by cover loose materials or stockpiles to prevent wind erosion and dust generation. Lastly is by using equipment with dust control features such as water spray or dust collection system where feasible. Another activity during construction phase is concrete pouring. The process of mixing and pouring concrete can generate dust particles, especially if dry materials or improper mixing techniques are used. These particles can become airborne and contribute to air pollution. This impact can be reduced by using eco-friendly or low-emission concrete mixture whenever feasible. Next, control and minimize the release of dust and particulate matter during concrete mixing and pouring. Lastly is properly cover and contain concrete trucks to prevent spillage and reduce airborne particles. Next is construction vehicles and equipment operations. Construction vehicles and equipment such as bulldozer, excavator, and trucks typically run on diesel or gasoline engines that emit pollutants like nitrogen oxide, particulate matter, and carbon monoxide. These machineries also generate high level of noise during operation, which can disturb the comfort of people around. This can be reduced by using low emission or electric powered equipment. And next is implement noise reduction measures such as mufflers or enclosures. Last is energy and resource use. Construction activities require significant energy inputs, including electricity for powering tools and equipment, as well as fuel for vehicles and machineries. The generation of electricity and the burning of fossil fuels release greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and contributing to climate change. So this can also be reduced by promote energy efficient practices during construction, such as using energy efficient lighting or equipment. Next is by encourage the use of renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, geothermal and biomass where possible. In post-construction phase, facility operations and maintenance include regular inspections, repairs, cleaning, and overall management of the building and its systems. These activities give few potential impacts, which is inefficient energy usage can lead to increased greenhouse gas emissions and contribute to climate change. The mitigation measure is by implement energy management system, conduct regular energy audits and promotes energy efficient practice among occupants. For example, upgrading lighting system to LED, optimize HVAC systems and install energy saving appliances. Next impact is excessive water usage can strain local water resources and impact ecosystem. So the mitigation measure is by implement water reuse system such as rainwater harvesting for irrigation. Next, improper waste management can result in increased landfill usage and contribute to pollution. So to reduce this, by establish recycling and waste separation program. We can also educate occupants on proper waste sorting and disposal practice. Last but not least, inadequate maintenance of ventilation system can lead to poor indoor air quality and health issues for occupants. So the mitigation measure is regularly inspect and maintain HVAC system to ensure proper ventilation and filtration. Use low VOC materials for interior finishes and cleaning products. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, the environmental impact assessment has been created for this school construction project as a safeguard for the environment. To lessen pollution around the building site, this research is being conducted. Appropriate mitigation measures are decided upon after a comprehensive assessment of the possible harm that may occur prior to, during, and after construction. This mitigating action is used to restrict or lessen environmental problems since a residential area is close by. According to the EIA report and guidelines, the research found that if all of the mitigation procedures described in this section are implemented and incorporated into the overall design and execution of the residential project, the significant effect will be reduced. Furthermore, mitigating measures and constant monitoring throughout the installation of the residential development area must be implemented. As a result, it is advised that developers implement mitigating measures such as creating an environmental monitoring program. It is suggested that developers use mitigating measures such as providing an EMP, means that environmental monitoring program. Project Proper management, planning and construction must be conducted in accordance with the standard and laws for health and safety, security and the environment. The suggestions for avoiding and decreasing unpleasant effects are as follows. Number 1 is regular monitoring and compliance, which is we create a mechanism for constant monitoring of environmental legislation and mitigating actions. Assess the project's performance on a regular basis, identify any deviations, and take remedial actions as soon as possible. Number 2, engage stakeholders and local communities, which is involve stakeholders and local communities in planning and execution. Seek their feedback, address their concerns, and encourage cooperating to ensure the project meets their requirements and objectives. Next point is foster environmental awareness and education. Environmental awareness and education should be promoted among project workers, contractors, and local populations. And then we encourage environmentally appropriate techniques and behavior to guarantee long-term sustainability. By adopting these guidelines, the project may move forward while reducing negative environmental consequences and guaranteeing the ecosystem's long-term survival. Continuous monitoring, compliance, and adaptive management will be required to meet any unexpected issues and make appropriate modifications to properly safeguard the environment. That's all from us. Thank you for your time and have a good day.